So before Mario, before Luigi, before Donkey Kong, Frankenstein was invented and brought to life. And Frankenstein was a really big guy. I mean, they just kind of stuck things together. So they took a big guy and they made him come back to life. And they got a brain from some of the body. They stuck it in Frankenstein, and then there you go. There's Frank. But anyway, so Frankenstein is a big, mean guy. And the villagers, in the time that Frankenstein was created, were kind of scared of him. I mean, Frankenstein being a big guy, how do you control a guy like that? Like, the villagers are like, I don't know. So they lit a bunch of torches and they would just give them to him, right? And no one likes fire. So Frankenstein started saying fire bad. Because to Frankenstein, the fire was bad. And, Frankenstein was a little bit of an odd bird, if you know what I mean. It was kind of hard for him to really attach himself to anyone, to make good friends, to actually be able to express himself. So Frankenstein one day met a guy that he thought maybe he could get along with. He'd be like, bye. And it was Waluigi. Waluigi was like going along a boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. And he sees this big oaf, Frank, right? He's like, everybody deserves a break. So I'm going to give Frank a good old breakity break, right? So Frank's like, whoa. But Waluigi decides he's going to look past the obvious imperfections of Frank and really get to know him. Because, what's the harm in that, right? It's always good to get to know somebody just because you don't understand them at first blush doesn't mean you're not going to find a friend. Because, as the old adage says, a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. And sometimes that can be a really bad thing. But sometimes it's good. And Waluigi, well, he didn't have a whole lot going for him. So, becoming friends with Frank, hey, no big deal. And Waluigi was like, you know what, Pilgram? I'll be your friend. And Frank said, well, fire's bad. And then which really befuddled Waluigi because Waluigi was like, hey, Pilgram, so why is fire bad? I don't understand. And then Mario came around because he was doing this golf cart race and he needed some participants. So he tapped Waluigi, who was always a big pro, bring Frank in, include Frank. But so many people are scared of Frank. Waluigi was like, hey, Pilgram, if I was making a go-kart race, I'd include Frank. This is like, hey, he's a friend of mine. I'd say you include him. But, Mario was like, oh, I don't quite trust him. I just don't quite trust the man. And Waluigi was like, Frankenstein, he's got a bad rap. If I were you, I would make Frank be in the whole go-kart race. But that's just me. Oh my. You asked me, why not Frank? But this is not the way things work. Well, Frank got touched. He was like, this Waluigi guy, he's alright. Kind of like him. So, Frank was like, Waluigi, you really talk in front of people. Better than okay. So, if I were you, would start a TV talent show. Waluigi was like, hey Pilgrim, what would I ever talk about on TV? I mean, come on. I'm just kind of a semi-oaf. I haven't achieved full oafship yet. That's you. I mean, I'm kind of banged up, but that's alright. I mean, I am me, you know? Well, I'm not gonna start a show anytime soon. And Frank was like, let's call it, hey there, Pilgrim. And then you make a show around that. You get people that people want to hear talk. You have them come on your show, do a little interview review, and then, wow, that's a good thing. And Frank's like, Waluigi was like, I'm not going to do that. How on earth would I do that? And Frank was like, come on, dude. You gotta try it out. Try out the hey there Pilgrim thing. And after a while, Waluigi was like, whoa! And so that's when it started that he thought he'd do this show. Well, yeah, that makes sense. You just need your first guest. If it were me, I'd pick Mario. And then Waluigi is like, hey Pilgrim, what if I don't want to interview Mario on my show? It's my show. It's not your show, it's mine. And Frank was like, hey, look, all I know is fire's bad. That's about all I can add. So, if you want to try and do something else, you do something else. You be you, I'll be me, and we'll meet back here. What do you think about that? And Waluigi said, hey Pilgrim, I think I'm going to try this show idea. Yeah, I think I'm going to get ahead of the curve and try the show. And Frank was like, yeah, which looked kind of weird because, Frank's a big guy. And he's most definitely an oaf. The brain of a child, but the guy is, come on, he's out of control. What are you going to do with that? I don't know. Hopefully Frank knows, but, whatever. And Waluigi, all he can say is, hey, Pilgrim, you're kind of out of control. Did you know that? That makes little to no sense. How do you do that? I don't know. How do you do that? And Waluigi said, hey, Pilgrim, now let's get Mario involved in all this. I don't want to get a big head, but let's get Mario involved. So, Frank goes out, fire bad. And he talks to Mario, and he's like, hey Mario, come on over. Waluigi would like to interview you. You don't think that much of yourself that you think that he couldn't interview you. I know he could do it. I've got complete faith. Waluigi is a good guy. Donkey Kong might come one day and try and burn him down, but right now, he's got a good thing going on. You gotta get involved in this. And Mario's like, alright, I can do that. So, Mario comes over with the whole film crew. He's like, fine, I'll be interviewed by Waluigi. Which, it kind of shocked Waluigi. He's like, I know I said, Frank, that I would talk to Mario. But geez, dude, you're kind of putting me on the spot. What's up with that? And Waluigi was like, what the? And Frank was like, dude. And then Waluigi was like, hey, Pilgrim, And Frank was like, "Fire Dad!" And then Mario came in, and they started filming, and everything turned out okay. Waluigi was like, "Welcome to, hey there, Pilgram." And Mario's like, "Thank you very much for having me." And Waluigi was like, "So, how's it going?" And etc. and so on, and it was fine. And everybody had a good time. And that's 3, Angus. 3. 3.